Hello, my name is Ismana Martinez, and this is a video for my Biology 1107 lab. And my topic is bacterial resistance to antibiotics and antimicrobials. How fast is this resistance growing? Introduction. Bacterial resistance is a growing problem in today's world, as the solutions to get rid of them no longer work. What happens when we can no longer control or kill the bacteria that hurt us and all living things? Bacteria have the cellular tendency to adapt to its surroundings. Since the introduction of antibiotics, bacteria have adapted to toxic environments by mutation. Bacteria reproduce asexually by binary fission, creating two identical copies. According to Richard Wax from his book, Microbial Drug Resistance, A Historical Perspective, each new copy of bacteria has a full copy of the original cell's DNA. In terms of bacterial resistance, this could mean that if one bacterial cell is resistant to one kind of antibiotic, the results of its reproduction would thus be resistant as well. In 1940s, the Golden Age, or the year of the discovery of antibiotics and increasing health of humanity, is losing its momentum as bacteria, which could be cured back then, is unresponsive to any treatment now in today's era. The effects of bacteria before the 1940s were extremely detrimental, and in the future could be what we can face which is why bacterial resistance is a grievous problem that people need to know about. According to Cassandra Williard from the International Journal of Science Nature, the World Health Organization has released a list of drug-resistant bacteria that pose the greatest threat to human health, and they posted them in an attempt to alert people and direct some funds towards the development of a much-needed solution. These obscure bacterium cause severe infections for which almost no treatments exist, and mainly affects people who are already critically ill. It is resistant to last resort antibiotics, used only when all other treatments have failed. The ranking also includes well-known bacteria such as those that cause pneumonia and gonorrhea. Antibiotic resistance kills an estimated of 700,000 people each year worldwide, and some experts predict the number to reach 10 million by 2050 if efforts are not made to curtail resistance or develop new antibiotics. The market for new antibiotics is extremely small because no one is focusing on the reality of bacterial resistance. Now, I would like to introduce two articles that show how the start of the future towards a solution to fix these issues. According to the article Antibiotic Resistance, the Last Resort by Mary McKenna, high-ranking health officials tend to stay away from serious descriptors to not worry the population of the seriousness of an event, but antibiotic resistance is serious and spreading faster and faster. She has 4 points that she goes through to explain the move to what needs to happen now. Firstly, a dire trend, in which she states how the growing population with antibiotic-resistant infections that go undetected until it's too late. Over the previous 6 years, a handful of patients spread across 7 institutions have been diagnosed with Klebsiella infections that were partially resistant to carbapenems. They had been infrequent and they were flying under the radar, and about the time they were picked up, they just exploded. The infections were very serious. In one Brooklyn hospital outbreak, 9 out of 19 patients died. Moving on to her second point, a rapid spread. In late 2005, one patient at Tel Aviv Soratsky Medical Center was diagnosed with an infection that was closely related to a New York strain. Within months, infections stormed through the hospital, and then through Israel's small, tight-knit healthcare system. By March 2007, there were 1,275 cases nationwide. They were turning up across the network hospitals, nursing homes, dialysis clinics, and rehab centers. Control came too late to prevent the pathogen from immigrating. Patients, physicians, and nurses had brought bacteria carrying the KPC enzyme to Italy, Colombia, and the United Kingdom, and beyond, which comes to show how bacterial resistance is a growing problem and fast. Her third point is an alarm call. She emphasizes how fresh threats are on the way. Researchers have spotted other carbapenem resistance factors moving around the globe. One has already appeared in the United States, and others are clustered in Southern Europe and Southern America. Because each is genetically different, they are likely to present new challenges to detection. And fourth, the limited options for a solution. She states it seems unlikely that new drugs will become available soon, since pharmaceutical companies believe it is not a good investment, disregarding the rapid advance of resistance. This means that infectious disease experts that their best tools for defending patients remain those that depend on performance of health personnel, hand washing, the use of gloves and gowns, and aggressive environmental cleaning. Now, introducing my second supporting article, which shows the problem from the perspective of antibiotic overuse. According to the article, A Dramatic Rise in Antibiotic Use by Sarah Reardon, September 2015, antibiotic use is growing steadily worldwide and affecting bacterial resistance. Reardon states how global antibiotic consumption grew by 30% between 2000 and 2010. This growth is driven mostly by countries such as South Africa and India, where antibiotics are widely available over the counter and sanitation in some areas is poor, and as a result, infections that are resistant to most antibiotics have doubled from 29% to 57% in 2014. Reardon also states some strategies to strive for, which involve instituting regulations on antibiotic use. Wrapping this up, as I have said in this video, bacterial resistance is a growing problem, and we can see our history as a prediction of the grievous harm that bacteria could cause in our population if we don't stop the spread. There are limited options and a lot of effects that come with the advance of resistance, but we can conclude that sanitation and the control over antibiotic use is the key towards some development.